What's going on, guys? Today is the 12th of February 2017. I'm going to be going over some weekly trade ideas that I'm looking at for this week. Remember, guys, these are trade ideas, meaning that you have to wait for them to set up, give you some sort of a trigger in order to work. So if they set up, then obviously you can play them, and if they don't set up, well, there's no need to rush into or force the ideas. I'm watching at DUK here. It's an energy play. Chart seems like it's flagging and making a higher low. So I'm expecting to find the breakout. So two places where I would play it. I would play it either if it pulls back to test the downtrend here, right into that $77 range, or I would obviously have a trigger to play it over the $78.84 range breakout. Chart's already obviously breaking the downtrend, and as it remains, it keeps flagging here, but you know, the duration of how sideways and how long it can go sideways, well, that's for you to only wait for the breakouts. And so you wait for the breakout to the top, or you wait for the pullback to the long, and you test the trend on the strength. As far as it being sideways, well, it can go sideways for a lot longer. So as far as for the chart, if you're trying to look for a swing position, well, obviously, you know, we can play it off the base here. But if you're looking for an intraday trade, well, you have to wait for it to break out over the top side. Zayo is the next name that I'm looking at. We had a huge bullish engulfing right off the 200 SMA. The chart pinned the 200 SMA before, and it's done a move pretty similar to this, so I would expect to see a continuation on this chart. What I would like to see is a pullback to this $30.99 range, and then I can play it off of that using the previous highs as the area for support. As the chart makes its way up to the to the breakout range, is there where you would wait to either take some profit off of it and possibly add if it breaks over the trend line. Next on the list is MOS. Chart is flagging here to the upside, making higher lows as we proceed up. I would expect to see a breakout on this one. So for me, what I would like to see is I would like to see a pullback to this $32.50 range, and then ultimately a breakout over $34 where an ad can be put on, and we can see how much more the chart has to go. Next on the list is COP. Tight range here. Chart seems to be holding this miniature uptrend. We do have a bull flag set up, so we'd expect to see a breakout. So I would play it if it pulls back to the 50 EMA, which puts you right about $49, or if it breaks to the upside. If it pushes through Friday session's high, then it triggers a break off this trend line, and that would put you in a buy area. So obviously if it pushes over $50.57, then it triggers a buy and a possible hold for a continuation to the upside. Number 5 on the list is Weight Watchers, WTW. Chart obviously has a breakout of the downtrend. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to see a quick little pullback down to this area here, about $12.65, where we can play it on the long side and add over Friday's session high and a possible move right into this range. We have earnings coming up on the 23rd, and so you would definitely be, you know, trying to play into earnings, but without trying necessarily to hold into earnings, as that's just not something that I like to do. Number 6 on the list is LEN. I like the chart. Seems like it's flagging. Chart pushed over the head and shoulder range, so I would like to see a pullback to that shoulder. So ultimately I'd like to see a pullback right into this $42.30, $46, sorry, at $46.30 range. A pullback here would give me a decent support range off the highs from this range, and obviously an add over Friday session's high for a move up into that $47.50 range. Number 7 on the list is CREE. Chart came down to its 200 SMA pin bar candle right at the bottom. So I'd like to see a move off this pin bar candle. A risk obviously to the 200 SMA, which pretty much gives you Friday's session low down here to about $25.40. A risk down to that range could put you in a reversal setup and an ultimate move back up to test the trend and the flag to the breakout. So a little patience here on this one. It could hover around this range, or it could actually just straight move up off of this range. But you'd have to get yourself into the trade with the potential for a bigger move to the upside on CREE. Next on the list, number 8, AN. So AN could be setting up a possible inverted head and shoulders setup, okay? You also have what is a double bottom right here. Nice candle reversal here. Even though the chart's been pushed to the downside, doesn't mean that you can't get a rubber band effect and have a little bounce. So I'd play it off of this range. Keep the stops obviously tight. There's a definite range here that you don't need the chart to go under, and try to get it back over the 200 SMA, over $48.35, and then ultimately a push up into this range here, about $50. Number 9 on the list is Ctxs. Chart had a huge move to the downside. Now what we're having a small move back to the upside, but as you can see towards the upside here, we're having some pin bar candles right up into the top range here. So I'll be looking for this chart to possibly have one more push, and I would be looking for a short on the name. So I'm thinking Ctxs gives us one little bit more push up into this range here. You have if you bring out the chart a little bit bigger, you have an inverted head and shoulder pattern that caused a move before. Now that shoulder should provide enough resistance right about the $79.50 range for a possible pull to the downside, and a pretty nice little short if it was to be rejected at that range. Number 10 on the list is ADP. This chart holding an uptrend. I think that for the sake of the chart right now, it seems like she wants to have a little bit more to the upside. When it comes into closer to this range over here, I'd be looking for a short entry. And so what I expect to see is I'd like to get into this $99 range for a possible short entry. An add under the trend here would give me a reason to hold the chart for longer. So if you've noticed that a lot of my trade ideas that I have for the week, most of them have some sort of a continuation effect into it. So if the charts are to work either to the upside or the downside, there's always a possibility for a bigger move. So if you get into the charts where you need to, and if the charts hold and they give you the continuation, then this allows you to have a bigger move on it, maybe hold some of the chart and trim and trail as it goes, and you can see that a lot of my trade setups have potential for also swing continuations. So these little trade setups, if they're worked properly, then you can allow yourself to have a swing trade setup on it. And most of the longs are set up like that, and most of the shorts are set up like that. So those are the 10 for this week, and I do hope that everybody has a safe and profitable trade-in week. This is my Twitter handle at ICEMAN Trading. There you'll find pretty much everything that I do. And if you are interested in trading with me at ICEMAN Trading Academy, just hit me up on Twitter here or send me an email at barrymohan81@gmail.com. Have a good one, guys.